In Bill and Buddha's Company by Somen, October 30th, 2016. Quote from Rabindranath Tagore: I know that the day will come when my sight of this earth shall be lost, and life will take its leave in silence, drawing the last curtain over my eyes. End quote. We begin. My last day. When? How? Where? I have a dream. My two sons are near to me while I'm taking my last breath. I could hear their gentle voices. They're thanking AA for my sober death. November 2005. My first day in AA. Sitting at the last bench in a primary school in Kolkata, India, I tried to listen to what speakers are saying. One thing struck me. Each and every speaker is quoting God. I'm finished. When the chairperson asks me if I want to say anything, I say, I do not believe in God. 1983, my experiment with alcohol. I was the organizing secretary of our college fest. After hectic activities all day, I saw my friends were busy drinking something behind the backstage. What is it? I asked. Taste it, they replied. The chemistry clicked. Love at first drink. December 22, 1998. My father died. When? I don't know. My father died. I was unable to be before him due to my last night's heavy drinking. In the morning, my mother pushed me up and told me that my father died. When? I don't know. 1995 through 2005. 10 years of solitude. My brother died in 1994 due to a CVA, or stroke, and for that I held myself responsible. I made several mistakes for which he had to suffer a lot due to lack of proper treatment, and ultimately he died. That incident brought me into massive depression. I combined antidepressants with alcohol. In the meantime, I married a beautiful lady. In the course of time, my two sons arrived. Suddenly, sex joined alcohol and depression. I became a victim of SAD, sex, alcohol, and depression. I became a regular customer of Kolkata's famous brothel. One night, when the full moon was up and stars were twinkling in the clear sky, I, partially in blackout condition, wanted to enter in mother's womb, not to return back in the universe again. My nirvana should come through a sexual route, I thought. I met a new girl. Both of us were ready to play the game. After the game was over, I discovered that I'd played the game without protection. I felt the smell of death. Terrible fear for 3 days. Finally, I went for an HIV test. The counselor took 7 days for my report. When I went for the report after 7 days, she told me to wait for another 15 days because my blood sample was sent for recheck. Another 15 days to hear my death sentence, I thought. That night, I wrote a letter to my wife to forgive me. I kissed my sleeping wife, 2 sons. I touched my ailing mother's feet and went for suicide, but failed. I returned home and consoled my weeping wife, saying that all is well. That reflects my report. All is well. 1970 through 1983. Childhood memories and a young mind. My father was an officer of the government of India and had to travel various places throughout India. We missed him. My mother was a teacher. Though my parents were in service, I don't understand even now why our family suffered a lot as far as financial matters are concerned. When my father was at home, constant battle between my parents was a regular drama in our home. It shaped my childhood mind badly. But deep down in my heart, I wanted to become a writer of history and Bengali, my language of origin. Rabindranath Tagore won the Nobel Prize for writing Gitanjali in Bengali. Bengali is also the national language of Bangladesh. Bengali novelists attracted me. Night after night, I would absorb fascinating stories. At the same time, European and Latin American writers opened my mind. Camus, Kafka, and Gabriel Garcia Marquez took my head. Suddenly, the stock market was calling me. I wanted to become rich. All my savings vanished in 2 weeks. My disease of alcoholism and depression were aggravated, and alcohol became my master. 2005 through 2016, in Bill and Buddha's company. In 1997, I read an article in a local newspaper. The article was about alcoholics and how they became sober with the help of AA. Then, I was an active alcoholic. The first thought that came into my mind after reading the article was that maybe I might need it someday. From 2002, I tried on my own to quit alcohol. I remember the day in May 2006. After heavy drinking, I returned home and I cried, and I cried, and I cried, and told my wife that I didn't want to drink again. That day in my life is the day of turning the wheel. The article about AA, which I read in 1997, came into my mind. I checked a website, contacted AA, went to meetings every evening, collected a big book, and read Bill's story not once, not twice, but several times. I could identify with Bill's pain and sufferings, as if Bill was describing my own story. Bill W. became my number one hero. Another hero was waiting in the sky, and he was Buddha. One full moon night, while I was smoking a cigarette at the rooftop of our housing complex, suddenly the sky was calling me. Watching the full moon mindfully, the thought of Buddha came into my mind. That moment was one of the aha moments in my life. I started reading about Bill and Buddha. The more I read about them, the more I wanted to know them. Then I was an agnostic and tried to believe in a God who could save my life. I tried to believe in God and became an atheist. I believe that Buddha is the greatest atheist in this world, so I followed him. I went to Buddha Gaya on full moon day of May 2007, where 2,550 years before, meditating under a peepal tree, Prince Gutma got enlightenment. That night, sitting under the same tree, I committed myself not to waste my life. I don't have to turn back again from that day. That day also became the last of my 20 years of cigarette smoking. After 3-4 years of traditional AA, I became tired of hearing God things day after day, but I never quit meetings. I checked internet about online atheist AA meetings. I found 2. I became a member of them. From there, I came into contact with the AA Agnostica website. I'm a regular reader of it. From there, I found AA Beyond Belief. This website opened a whole new world for me. My loneliness vanished. I'm not an outsider in AA anymore. I am part of a whole new AA fellowship. I owe my gratitude to AA Beyond Belief. Thank you, friends. July 31, 2016. my Serenity Wish. My name is Somen. I am an alcoholic and atheist. I am celebrating my 10th year of sobriety in AA, though the actual date is July 26th. My home group meets every Sunday. That's why I'm celebrating today. I am celebrating a process and not an accomplishment. This group is not an atheist, agnostic group. Nowhere in India will you find such AA group. Needless to say that I am in AA and an outsider in F2F meeting rooms in AA in India. I hear, here and there, in the meeting rooms and outside the meeting rooms, also that I am in a danger zone because of my no faith in God. I laugh, but at the same time, I share my true story that I am an alcoholic atheist nowadays. Few members respect my honesty. Most of the members don't understand Bill W.'s message of inclusiveness in AA. May a day come when another fellow joins me so that we can form an atheist AA group and we can start our meeting with the Serenity Wish. May we have the serenity. The journey from I to we is not too far, I hope. About the author. Somen is a senior optometrist living in Kolkata, India, with his wife and children. He celebrated 10 years of sobriety this past July.